Hello friends, good morning. How are you today? I hope you're feeling really good and I hope you're ready for a story today. It's really good to be with you. Now we have lit our candle here, so we're nearly ready for a story. We've lit our candle to remind us that Jesus is always with us. But we've got a special friend today and we need to say hello to our friend. And our friend today is Peter. So let's say hello to Peter. Come on, Peter. Hello, good morning. How are you? Are you all right? Yeah. Let's sing hello to Peter. Hello, Peter. Hello, Peter. Hello, Peter. How are you today? You're all right, aren't you? But you're a little bit surprised this morning, weren't you? A surprised face. Yeah, because we've just had our breakfast and Peter tried a banana for the first time and you didn't think you would like it, did you? But you did, didn't you? It was really delicious because bananas are really delicious and very healthy. But that really surprised you, didn't it? You didn't think you were going to like it at all. No. I've got some surprising facts today. I wonder if any of these things I tell you might surprise you. So here's the first one. Did you know that McDonald's once made bubblegum? And it was even flavoured broccoli. Broccoli flavoured bubblegum. That is surprising. Did you know that Scottish people have 421 different words for the word snow? That is surprising, isn't it? What about this one? Cats have fewer toes on their back paws. I didn't know that. That really surprised me. Did that surprise you? Here's another fact. The first person ever convicted of speeding, the first person ever to get in trouble for speeding in their car was going at, can you guess? How fast do you think they were going? The first person to ever get in trouble for speeding. They were going at 8 miles an hour. That is surprising. And the last one, there's a frog who lives in Alaska and he's called a wood frog. And the wood frog can hold its pee in for up to 8 months. That is very surprising, isn't it? That's a silly one. Has anything surprising ever happened to you? What surprising things have happened to you? Perhaps you've been surprised by a lovely present that you weren't expecting. Or perhaps you found out that someone in your family is having a new baby. That would be a lovely surprise, wouldn't it? Perhaps you've been surprised by a book or a film when you weren't expecting the story to go the way it went. Or perhaps it was much more exciting than you expected. Or perhaps you've tried a new food like Peter. Or perhaps you've tried a new sport or a new hobby and you were surprised that you really enjoyed it. Perhaps you were surprised by one of your friends or someone in your family who've learned a new skill. Or perhaps you were surprised by somebody who's been really kind and generous. Well, today is a special day for me because later on in church there's going to be a special service where I am going to be made into a priest. And for me, that's really surprising because a few years ago I would never have expected to be made into a priest. I never thought that God would choose me to do a special job for him. We've got a story from the Bible today about God choosing somebody else for a special job, and that was also a surprise. So let's hear the story. God had a special job for Samuel. Here's Samuel, here he is, praying to God. God told Samuel that he wanted him to go to a place called Bethlehem to meet a man called Jesse. I've chosen one of Jesse's sons to be a king, God told Samuel. So Samuel did what God asked. He travelled to Bethlehem and met Jesse. Now Jesse had lots of sons. They were tall and handsome and strong. But which one did God want to be king? Samuel looked at the first son. He was very tall and very handsome. This must be the one, thought Samuel. But God told him, I haven't chosen him. God does not see the same way that people see. People look at the outside of a person, but God looks at the heart. Then Jesse showed Samuel another brave and handsome son. God hasn't chosen this one either, said Samuel. And with another son, God hasn't chosen him, said Samuel. Jesse showed Samuel all 7 of his strong and brave sons, but God didn't want any of them to be the king. Then Samuel asked Jesse, Are these all the sons you have? Jesse said, Well, I still have the youngest son. He is out taking care of the sheep. Samuel said, Send for him. So Jesse brought the youngest son from the field where he was looking after the sheep, and he brought him to Samuel. God said to Samuel, Go on, make him a king. So Samuel took a container of olive oil and poured it onto the boy's head as a sign that God had chosen him to do a special job and to do special things, and that he was to become a king. The boy's name was David, and from then on God's Spirit was with David to help him. So God chose somebody surprising. Nobody had thought that the youngest, smallest and least strong of the brothers would be chosen. But God looked at David's heart and didn't judge him from the outside. And just like David, God looked at me in a different way. And in the special service this afternoon, the bishop will put some oil on me and ask God to send his Spirit to help me to be a good priest. And just like David and me, God looks at us all in a different way. God sees our potential. He knows what we can be rather than what we are now. With God, things aren't always as they seem, and God is full of surprises. Let's roll our hands, ready for our quiet song before we say a prayer. Running over, my cup's full and running over. Since the Lord loves me, I'm as happy as can be. My cup's full and running over. Running over, my cup's full and running over. Since the Lord loves me, I'm as happy as can be. My cup's full and running over. Let's just take a minute of quiet, and we'll talk to God and we'll say our prayer. God, we thank you for surprises and how you look at our hearts and not what we look like. Help us to see people not as they are now, but as they could be. Amen. And let's say our action prayer all together. Are you ready with the actions? Let's say, the love of God be with us all forevermore. Amen. Lovely. Thank you so much for joining me today and for joining Peter and his surprising morning. And we'll say bye-bye and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Okay then. Bye-bye. See you soon. Bye-bye from Peter. Bye-bye from Marie.